Howdy. What's going on? This is Glenn Lawrence. I am back with another episode of the blerddadpodcast, a space where we have unfiltered conversations and nerd out about fatherhood. Hello. Welcome back. It's good to see everybody here. Thanks for joining in, tuning in, toying. Dude, I tell you what, lack of sleep definitely messes with my vocal ability. I don't know. Vocal ability, is that a word? Don't know if it's a word, but I hope everyone's doing well. We took a little bit of time off to get our bearings straight after having our little stint with COVID, and everything's good now. Everything's good. We're back. We're happy. We're giving some more stuff to you. We got some cool things coming up in the near future. We're probably going to do some product reviews, and we'll talk about just things that we have used that we thought were extremely helpful with having a baby, and things that weren't necessarily so helpful and we didn't have to use. For example, baby wipe warmers. I mean, does your baby really need to have the optimal warmness for their baby wipes? That seems a little excessive. So things like that. It's like, do you really use it? Are you going to really use it? Now, in all honesty, we haven't actually used the baby wipe warmer, but I just kept thinking that there's no way that there's an optimal warmness for your baby wipes, that you need a whole apparatus device that you keep in heavy rotation. I don't know. So we're going to be exploring some things like that. We'll be talking about things like that. First order of business always is to thank our illustrious sponsors, and that would be They Made Me Wear It. They're a amazing husband and wife team, and they are dog stylists for the everyday parent. They're on a mission. They help dogs discover their fashionable side. Whether it's an awesome Halloween costume, Halloween is coming up, so you need to hit up They Made Me Wear It. They can get your dog laced up if you need him to be Baby Yoda, if you need him to be Darth Vader, anyone from Star Wars, Baby Gamora. You can have a baby Star-Lord, or a doggy puppy Star-Lord. All that type of stuff. They'll get your fur baby laced out in the latest fashions. Also, when you're shopping their store, here's the important part. You are helping to contribute to Hope for Paws, which is an animal rescue organization that works tirelessly to save abandoned animals. So I don't know what you're waiting for. You should have already been on theymademewearit.com getting the latest fashions. Use code word blerd for 15% at checkout. Now, today, we are excited about our guest today. Our guest today is Greg Stevens. He's a veteran of the world of stand-up comedy. He's been captivating audiences all over with his unique and energetic style. He was born and raised in D.C., and he's performed at clubs all over the country. He's open for headliners like Gary Owen. Is it Gary Owen or Gary Owens? Because Black people always add an S. So even if it's just Owen, we're going to put an S on there. So Gary Owens, he's open for him. Jeff Ross, add an extra S on there too. He's done all kinds of stuff. He's been on TV. He had his first stand-up special was 50 Shades of BlackMayonnaise. The dude is amazing, man. I really enjoy my brother, Greg Stevens. So I should probably just bring him in here without further ado. Greg, what's happening, brother?
Hey, what's happening, man?
Hey, man, not much. I hope you didn't mind the rambling. I had to give you a good intro.
I love it. I appreciate it, man. And it's Gary Owen.
Is it really Gary Owen? How's Gary Owen going to perform to mostly Black people and not put the S on his name for our convenience?
He got to know that when he performing in front of us, it's going to be an S.
It's Gary Owens. It's Gary Owens. He knows that.
Yeah, it's going to be Gary Owens always.
It's Owens. We always add that extra. We're going to give you the extra letters that you need.
Right.
Yeah, welcome. Thanks for hanging out with us, man. Talking a little bit about fatherhood. First of all, how you been?
Good, man. I can't complain if I tried to, man. It's been an adventure, to say the least.
Fatherhood,
life. Fatherhood is like a whole nother side mission. If this was a game.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, man, you got a dope intro, man.
Oh, really? Thanks.
Yeah, the 8-bit game, man. I was like, what game is that? I want to play that.
We are playing it. That's the comedy game. We're playing it right now.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, man. I appreciate that. Thanks. We worked really hard on it. Now we can get the rest of the show up to par with the intro. Great. But no, it's cool, man. I'd love doing this, it helped out during the pandemic, trying to figure out what to do. It gave me a little outlet. There's some things that I like to talk, I still got a day job, so I can't talk as much as I want to about different things, but we like to get into issues, talk
Right.
real.
That sounds like a person who has a clearance.
Oh yeah, hey, listen, I can neither confirm nor deny.
Hey, I'm on the same boat.
But yeah, man, the whole fatherhood thing, because when did you become a father? When
Shoot, I feel like I've been raising kids all of my adult life,
mm,
but I my brother and I are co-parenting my 5-year-old nephew.
ooh, wow.
Yeah, so 2016 is when it happened. I just came back from doing one of the best shows of my life over in St. Thomas, and I get back and I get a call from the hospital, and they say, "Hey, your nephew is going to be released from the hospital soon." So I'm like, "All right, cool." And I'm thinking they're calling me, because my sister need someone to pick her up, pick
Yeah.
her and the baby up. And they was like, "Yeah, but here's the thing: we're not going to release him to her. Um, Tested positive for drugs. Baby had drugs in his system, and
Oh wow.
so yeah, so they were like, so here's the deal: either you or if a loved one come get him in 24 hours, or he's going into the system."
Damn.
Yeah, that's what happened. So after I got that call, I called my brother, and it was like, "Yo, what time we need to be down there?" You
Wow.
know.
That's
So
that's amazing that you picked up the slack there and immediately jumped into action.
yeah, man. I mean, it's one of those things where I didn't have a father growing up. I had a I had a stepfather who was an alcoholic, or as he would put it, a professional drinker. And so,
Oh, you had one of them funny alcoholic.
oh yeah, he wasn't like one of those mean drunks. He would just get drunk, watch westerns, and go to sleep.
Hey, you know what? I could dig it.
Yeah, so we got the call, and we went down there. There's a whole spill I never did on stage about the day we actually went to get them, because they were just like, first of all, we had to buy a car seat before we could take them.
Oh wow.
So it was like a hustle. It was like, all right, we got the baby right here, but you need to buy this right here. And they gave us
Did-
like the care package they gave us. It was like $4 and a pack of formula. It was like, good luck. I was like, wait, what?
Wow.
And not
That's
to mention,
that's how
and
they give the babies out?
yeah. And so imagine this, just to put it in perspective. So I've always raised like teenagers. I never had to raise an infant. I don't have any
Mhm.
kids of my own. So this was like a shock to the system for me. So on top of, having to get this newborn within 24 hours, they were like, "Hey, oh yeah, by the way, he has drugs in the system. Good luck with that."
What did they give you
So
any indication of what to
no,
do with it?
no. They
Like
was
how
just
to
like, they talked to us like like he was a plant. They was like, "Well, just feed him,
There's some
give him a
fern.
little sunlight."
Here's a little fern. Just give him
Yeah,
sunlight, give him some water. It should be
I'm
all
like,
right.
so what do I sit them outside for like 4 hours? And
That's wild because when they're first born, you have to feed them pretty much around the clock. You know what I mean?
well, I
So
mean, that's all they do is eat, sleep, poop.
yeah. So
Is
what do
like
you
that
do?
for a
Because
while.
in the beginning, usually they're getting the was the they're getting the little bit of food, just the marconium. No, the marconium's the poop that comes out. They're getting just a little bit of the baby like the milk, because the mother's milk is just like a little bit. So they just take like a little bit and then they're good. Were you giving them formula from day one or
Yeah,
how?
well, yeah. I mean, because my sister was kind of out of the picture at the moment, dealing with her issues. So, we had to keep them on the formula. So the thing about dealing with infants who have drugs in their system, his case was they told us we had to be, kind of careful around him, because he was real jumpy, and so we had to make sure, we swaddled him, kept him close, made him feel warm and all that, have the body contact. So, luckily that only lasted for maybe like a few months. And the more stronger he got, the more healthier. And and it's amazing because if you see this kid today, you would never know his story. Yeah.
So he's fine. That's good to hear. He came out of there. He came out of there floating. He said,
I mean, he was like, "Hey," he looked like he just came from a Snoop concert.
But could you tell that he was like, was he, or he just seemed like a baby, just cry,
He
sleep,
was just
cry, sleep.
he was just a regular baby. He was a good baby, but you can, at times you could tell, there was some issues going on. And he would have this kind of like nervous shake, and he'll just bust out crying. And it was kind of heartbreaking for a while because I felt really vulnerable because I was like, I can't do nothing but hold this kid and try to make him feel comfortable.
Man, that's wild. See, most cases you have like 9 months or so or thereabouts, a few months. You have some prep time to be like, okay, my life is about to change, whatever your definition of change is. So you can kind of ramp yourself up to taking care of this kid. And you went from, man, I'm living a life single, and then it's like that night, that's all done.
Bro, literally less than 24 hours.
Wow.
That's I would need more time to buy a dog. You know what I mean?
How you handle that adjustment? How'd that adjustment go for you?
It was rough, man. It was rough. Like it was crazy. My brother and his ex-wife really stepped up to the plate. So they kind of had him for the majority. I was kind of like the relief pitcher, and then I, got more responsibilities later. But that saying, it takes a village. Like this kid really had a full-on village around him. My cousin, who was an empty nester at the time, she, would come around and help out. And so he just had a lot of people, and still do have a lot of people that just surrounded him and gave him a lot of love. But in terms of how I adjusted to it was rough, man. Like I think it took probably like the first 2 years for me to really like settle into it and wrap my head around that. Yo, this is happening.
Yeah.
But like I'm loosely writing a kind of a sitcom around it that's loosely based off of it because I can't make this up. I had literally less than 24 hours to change my entire life.
That's a great story. It's a crazy, it's a great story. You know what I mean? It's great that it worked out like this. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to like going into the system or anything like that. Because that's crazy. It's like once your name is on that, then you like it's a crapshoot of how things turn out.
Yeah. And so my brother and I was pretty much like, yo, we can't afford to have this kid in the system if we could do anything about it. And so I don't regret not one moment of it because it definitely changed my life for the better. And now I can't imagine not having him around. You know what I mean?
Right.
So life is funny like that sometimes.
Yeah, I was thinking the other day, like, what did I used to do? You know what I mean? I had so much free time on my hand when I was, because I'm literally like changing the diaper all the time. I'm groggy in the middle of the night, waking up, everything's hurting, and I gotta feed him or something. And I'm like, what did I use? Did I just used to sleep through the whole night? Is that what I used to do? Like,
Yeah. What's sleep?
what is sleep?
What is sleep? you won't remember what sleep is until he's like maybe 2, and still even then,
Yeah,
it's kind of like you'll just
yeah.
probably get like an extra hour or two.
You know what's crazy? Because I have sleep apnea. I took a sleep
Oh
test,
man,
and so I had to go in to the testing place, and I went in there to take the sleep test, and it was beautiful. Like I went in, like I was so knocked out. I was so knocked out. They're like,
yeah,
"Oh, do you need like any things to help sleep aid?" And I was like, "No, just get out."
yeah.
And I was snoring, man. Like it went by so quick too. Like I
Yeah,
woke up and they're like, yeah, it's like 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock whenever they discharge you. And I
yeah.
was just like, oh damn. So I slept the whole 8 hours, just no problem.
Yo, that and I bet that was like the best 8 hours ever.
It felt so great. I was like, I think something was disconnected. Can I do it over?
Right.
It feels so unfair because my wife, she has been taking care of the kid, of course, and then she's breastfeeding, so she's up around the clock with
Oh
him.
wow.
So she can't really sleep because she has things she's got to do. And I
Yeah.
just feel bad because it's like, I'll take a nap and then I'm going to go to get this sleep test and come back all refreshed. And
Wow.
like, oh, how are you? And she's like, I'm tired and I want to kill you.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, I'm super refreshed. That sleep test was great. She's
Yeah. No, you can't tell her it was great. You'd be like, yeah, man, it was
listen, she could tell by the way I walked in all with a pep in my step. She,
Oh man. And
there ain't no use of
your
trying to
eyes are
sugarcoat it.
fully open.
Yeah, fully open, all nice and white.
Oh, look at you with the big eyes.
Sometimes I look at her, I'll be like, damn, have you been crying? Is everything all right? She's like, I'm tired. Tired.
I'm telling you, yo,
Yeah.
it's a trip,
It's
but
great. So were you
you
doing that? Were you doing that? Were you doing the tired thing? Were you up all night with them?
so strangely enough, roughly for the first year, my brother and his wife kind of took care of him, and I would kind of just like have him maybe on the weekends or whatever, because I work, and so I would just have to suffer for a couple of days, and then it's like, okay, Sunday
Okay.
night, here you go.
There you
But
go.
after the year, I start taking him on a little bit more. So he was a little bit better in his sleep. Like he was a good baby as far as sleeping. Like I could put him down, sing to him, boom, done. And like even once he started entering his toddler phase, like
Mhm.
this is the only kid I know that will tell you when he's ready to go to bed. He's like, I'm tired, I'm sleepy. I was like, well, come on, let's do it.
Ah,
Bedtime it is.
man. How do you get that? How do you instill that in them to
I don't know. I think
recognize?
I call him a unicorn because I never met a kid that would tell you unless you had him out all day, and he's coming down off of a sugar rush or something. But yeah, he'll just be watching cartoons and be like, "Yep, I think I'm done."
He's a
Like,
grown
all right,
man. Does he pull
yeah,
out the newspaper, hit you with the Wall Street Journal?
right.
Journal?
It's the highlights. You remember the highlights?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I done did this puzzle, so I think I'm good. And connected the dots.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
that's awesome. So what you got going on? How's comedy been going for you?
Comedy's been, I think everybody is still bouncing back from last year. Um, so it's a slow burn. I'll put it that way. Right now, the most steady thing I have is I'm hosting Broken Mike's late night show called a Nightcap,
Mm.
which is every Saturday at the DC Comedy Loft in DuPont Circle. So, folks that's in the DMV area, definitely check it out every Saturday at 11 p.m. So, that's a lot of fun, man. Yeah, after last year, I did a few, you and I did a few Zoom shows, and that was cool, but it's nothing like being in front of a live audience, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm missing it myself. I think I'm gonna try to get back out there, get back into the swing of things, but it's it's weird because I think I'm in a unique time. Like, excuse me. Most people when they have their kids,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, the COVID remnants. Most people when they have their kids, they got to go back and forth to work and they're not around. But I'm
Yeah.
teleworking. I'm home all day. You know what I mean? So he gets
Oh
to see
wow.
me all day. You know, which I feel like is a unique experience. But I think a lot of kids might have gone through that experience now with the pandemic. So I'm wondering how that's going to change kids, because there's going to be a whole generation of kids whose parents were around for the first year or two of their
Mm.
life, and how does that change how they grow up?
How does it change the kids or the parents?
Yeah, well, I mean, the parents for sure. Like, I don't know how I'm sure it changes them too, but the kids, if you think about it, like your parents or my parents or whatever, they were probably had to go run off to work or what. Like, they weren't
Right.
with you 24/7 for the first year of your
I
life.
get what you're saying.
Mm.
That's an interesting point. I don't really know, man, because
Nobody does. Like,
yeah, what I
it's
can
up in the
say is
air.
the only thing I could really like kind of say is that where it may be a bit problematic is that when it's time for them to go to school or a form of a daycare or something, and you have to do that separation,
Mm. I
because
think
it's
that part's going to be hard for the parents.
yeah, you
That
know what
separation is going to be hard for me, because it's right now I don't even think about it, because I'm with them every
you
day and I'm like, it's
yo
nice to get a break. But that
yo.
separation of like, so he's in someone else's care for an extended period of time.
Let me tell you something. That separation gonna last 2 weeks. When you go back, when you and the wife go back to sleeping, and you get some rest, or y'all could get some downtime back to yourself while he's away, or you got to work. I mean, it's like someone throwing a cold towel on your face. Like it's just rejuvenates you.
Refreshing. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Hmm.
it's needed. Like I just like so my nephew just started pre-K, and I had it rough for the first week. I was so nervous for him, because he was in daycare, but this is a whole different atmosphere. He's in a prep school where there's older kids. So I'm more nervous for him, and he's like, "Yo, I'm good. Get back in your car and go back. Listen to your old people music and stuff."
Right. That's
Yeah.
funny.
So, like you said, I took it harder than he did. But the thing I'll tell you, man, the kids grow up so fast. Like, yo, this enjoy this time right here. I don't know if folks are already telling you this,
Hmm.
but like I'm telling you, you look up one day and then they're talking to you. They're saying their first words, and then they want to give you their opinions about stuff, and it's like I don't care about your opinions, but thanks for sharing. They're just in that talkative mode because their motor skills are kicking in. So every new word is like, some type of profound thing in their little world. Like
Dang.
Betty, it is a blue crayon. Like, yes, thank you. It is a blue crayon.
You know what? We need to start watching some. I need to start watching some Spanish language stuff so he could start picking up on different
Yo,
languages and stuff right now.
yo, so check this out. So in daycare, my nephew was they had a Spanish teacher who came in and would teach Spanish. Now my nephew struggles with he has a bit of a speech impediment, and so when I got the report for him doing Spanish, flawless. Like this dude is almost fluent in it. But it was weird because I'm like, this kid speaks better Spanish than he does English. I'm like, can we get the English down first? It's the craziest thing, but they little minds, picks it up, so they sponge it so quickly, man.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
see, I need to step on that. It's funny because you said something about go ahead and play your old
Old
people
people,
music.
yeah.
Yo, this kid loves Motown. Like, I put it on and he stops crying. It's wild. And I tested it because I play some Drake. Nope, start crying. Play some Lil Nas X. Start everything. I'm trying to give him some old school Jay-Z. No, I want Motown. I want that good old soul.
Real recognize real
from the jump, bro.
You get what I'm saying? Real recognize real. My nephew is the exact same way. Like, I can't wait to put this kid into anything musical.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of those kids, like he picks up like rhythm. So it could be a song he's never heard before. In the first few seconds, he would stop, mumbling the beats. And then he'll just start freestyling. He'll just start singing his own version of the song. And I'm like, yo, every afternoon when I pick him up, it's like backseat karaoke, like he does his own thing. And I just be like,
you should get your instrumentals together, start playing them instrumentals. Okay, what's the song on this?
Yo, like, and now he's to the point where he tells me which songs he likes and don't like.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, it's like
why?
It don't matter. It's like, that's whack. Next. Like, I don't want to listen to no Money Bag. Like,
Money Bag.
Put that Gerald Levert back on.
He's like, give me some Luther Vandross, some Stevie Wonder.
He all in. He all in for that.
Oh man, this dude loves the Four Tops.
Oh man. That real recognize real.
He's
man.
Like, I like the Supremes. Give me the Supremes.
Oh man.
Where's some of that Ron Isley?
Oh boy.
But yeah, man, he and then so we'll put it on. It's funny because we were in the car today and he's like, crying, going through it. And we're like, all right, let's just, we tried it. We put it on and he stops crying. It's to the point now where I'm nervous because I'm like, it works so well. I don't want to overuse it. Like, I want to use it when he's, but every time we put it on, he just stops. He's like, wait, is that my shit? Is that my song? But
you know what's so dope? Like, is you won't run out of old music. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, it's enough to keep them good for a while.
Well, you know what? I think he does like the sad songs. I think he starts kind of be like, but the upbeat ones, you know what I mean? like my mama told me you better shop around. Shop. Oh yeah, he likes that upbeat. Like, I can't wait until he starts dancing. He starts.
It's only a matter of time, man. You got to teach them all that. You got to teach them the rain.
The rain. You got to bring the rain down. You got the point. You got to point to it.
Yeah, then bring it down.
Bring the rain down. Then clear it away. Then bring it down again. The point.
Oh man, that's beautiful, man.
Hey, we should have had our own little group. You know what I mean? Like a little Motown group. We get together, me, you, and Mike. Who else? And we start dancing. You know what I'm saying? So sprinkle
so Mike and I used to work together, right? We both had worked at. I think you may know that. Yeah. Him and I had the same day job. So we because we're men of a certain age now, right? So we in our heads we made up a collective singing group called Dad Bod. and it's all men over 40 just trying to work it out.
I'm officially there, bro. I'm officially
you
there.
You are the newest member of Dad Bod.
I'll do some background, not dancing, just in the background.
Oh yeah. Hey, well, here's the cool thing about being in Dad Bod. It is all low impact dance moves. You ain't got to worry about spinning and doing any of that TikTok stuff. Right. It's low impact dance moves. It's like point, slide, and then dip. That's it.
That point and slide.
Point, slide, dip. Low impact dance moves, man.
I love it, man. And all our songs are just about sleep and rest.
Listen, sleep, bills. Getting the big piece of chicken.
Oh man, listen. I want because back when I was young, that's how I tested my stepdad. You know what I mean? I tested him on the big pork chop. Somehow, like, it's funny because as you get older, you realize these things of why that was probably so upsetting. But when I was younger, I was, first of all, how's there always only one big pork chop in a pack of pork chops? Like, shouldn't they all be equal size? But there's always just one big one.
I think they do that on purpose to divide the household.
Yeah, to make sure everybody knows their place in the household. But this one time we the plate was all made, and I was feeling myself. I was like, I play football, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. I'm taking the big pork chop. And he came home from work and immediately was like, who took the big pork chop? He was so mad. And I knew exactly what I did. I tried to play it off like, what do you mean?
Yo.
Well, you young, when you're taking a big pork chop. If Morgan takes a big pork chop, we gonna have problems.
You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. Yeah, Chris Rock was on point with that one, dude. Like, it didn't hit me until it happened to me one time. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it's like instantly, this is wrong. This is wrong. And don't let it be a day where you don't work hard and you're nice and famished and it's food waiting on you, and you get this little boop 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 this little, like, I'm gonna burp that off before I get to the next room. Like,
yeah, I definitely have apologized to my steppops for doing that. But I was feeling, listen, we were at odds, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had to let him know I'm a man too. And then after that, he was like, your plate fixing privileges are revoked. You can't make your own plate anymore.
Yeah. That's paraphrasing. Stay the hell away from my pork chop.
Yeah. So that was, and then of course my mom's just like, why'd you have to eat the big pork chop?
So you know what's funny, right? It's gonna come back around.
I know.
It's gonna be one of those days with Junior gonna be like, that old dude don't know what he missing.
Yeah. I wonder when that is going to be like that. But the thing is, I'm older, so it's going to be clear that he can best me in whatever he's trying to get at. But I wonder when that turning is going to be. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you. It's going to be right between 11 and 13.
You think so?
Oh, it's right at the cusp of puberty.
Damn. So what am I going? I'm gonna be like I'm gonna be 50, like 53.
All I can tell you is, dude, you gotta get your reps up.
I gotta actually start working out because I definitely want to be able to beat him in basketball at least until he's 15.
Yo, you gotta be able to beat him, period.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But
it doesn't even. That's in general, because when they get to a certain age, man, it's the law of nature. Like, especially when they get to that teenage, that 16, 17 age, and they done got a little height and they got a little peach fuzz on their face.
Yeah.
They
start seeing like muscles. They start being a little bit musty.
Yeah, you got like 2 packs. You got 2 packs.
I'm pretty good at this. I did it with my cousins. I know when to when that's going to be the last game. So I go out and beat them. You know what I'm saying? Hit my little walk-off 3. You know what I mean? And then for some reason we just have never played again. And he's just gonna be like, my dad always beat, and then that'll just be it. I'll just hang it up. I'm gonna hang it up on that 3, the last shot, and then that's it. You gotta
get your fadeaway together. You gotta get the fadeaway.
Absolutely.
See, that was the thing. Jordan couldn't keep going to the basket like it used to. You had to get that fadeaway.
With the young kids, the thing is you got to get that power inside game on them, because they don't know what to do with that when you back them down, and then you get that fadeaway shot on them.
You gotta lean on them. You gotta put that weight on.
Yeah, lean on them, and see, they don't know. They're gonna get tired. They're gonna get tired because you've been leaning on them the whole game.
Yeah,
Pops is heavy. He's heavy-handed. Plus, when you dad, you don't fouls don't count. They're gonna be crying about fouls. I'm like, what you talking about? We play rough.
Oh no, you're gonna get all this. You're gonna get all this.
And you can't call them. If you call weak fouls, I'm taking the ball.
Yeah.
That's my ball too. Anyway, hey, so what do you like to nerd out about? We usually have a blerding question here. We like to ask people, what do they nerd out about?
Me? Oh man, that's such a broad question. Now a lot of people may a lot of my good friends may not notice, my closer friends do. I am actually a big blerd.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I went to the Baltimore Comic Con about a week or two ago.
Oh, nice. How was it?
It was dope. It was dope. It was my first convention. I didn't cosplay, but
That's the next step.
that's next. Well, I'm going to BlerdCon in July, so
Oh, beautiful.
yeah, and I'm looking to perform there too. So we'll talk later about that. 'Cause
Yeah, I was actually supposed to, if it wasn't for this whole thing, I was supposed to be at BlerdCon. I was supposed to do all that because I do with New Release Wednesday.
yeah,
Shout out New Release Wednesday. I do a bunch of stuff with them, and there's like a cosplay contest. So I was going to be co-hosting the cosplay contest, and then
right.
possibly performing there too. But we'll have to talk. I was supposed to do Awesome Con this past year.
Oh, man.
Like we
Yeah,
were supposed. Yeah, we were supposed to do Awesome Con, and then it got canceled because of all the all the craziness.
yeah, yeah. So the other blerd thing, well, I mean, aside from the typical anime and stuff like that and comics that I'm into, I'm actually a collector of Funko Pops.
Oh, what? You got a Funko Pop collection?
Yeah, but it's only of Jokers.
Just the Joker? Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, so you into the Joker?
Oh, totally. Like, and that's just my pops.
Yo, why is the Joker your favorite super villain?
Because he's like he's a beautiful onion. I'll
Uh-huh.
put it like that. Like there's so many layers to the character, and it's just so many variations of him. And like there's a lot of if you're a comic, person, there's so many other villains, and they all have superpowers. Like Thanos is strong and he's had the gauntlet and all that, but the Joker is just crazy and manipulative. Like he has no superpowers. He just out clevers people.
Mm.
He's a psychopath. But there's so many variations of him, and each variation of him has like his own intricacy to it. So
What's your favorite variation of the Joker? What's your favorite depiction?
my favorite would probably have to be the Cesar Romero version
That's
from
the old school joint.
from the TV show, with the white makeup, and he never
Yeah.
cut his mustache.
He's like,
So you could see his mustache over the paint.
yeah.
That was my favorite, mainly because I grew up, watching, the TV show, and I never thought he was scary or anything. I just thought he was fun, you know.
Right. Well, that's those shows did make it seem more fun than nefarious. You know what I'm saying? He's always doing some fun little. It looked like he was just playing around with his buddy Batman, just some trick.
Yeah. It just seemed like, oh, you Joker, you got me again. Like every episode, I was like, Batman, you should know this by now.
Like he was going to give Batman a noogie, like he
Yeah,
was.
that's what it seemed like. Yeah, so that's my favorite Joker, but yeah, I'm a huge Joker fan, man.
So you really rock with the Batman universe. The
Oh yeah,
DC.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm all in.
Yeah. So what do you think of the new rendition of like the DC cinematic universe?
Are you talking about like Justice League or
Well,
like the Joaquin Phoenix Joker?
I mean, it's hard. Here's the thing with DC that's so upsetting. They just have so many different takes on it, and it's like they have an opportunity to bring with this new Flashpoint movie. They have
Oh,
an opportunity to bring it all together and then make it like, okay, all that was a multiverse. Here's the main timeline and bring it all together. They kind of got like a silver bullet to redo and retcon everything that they've done, up to this point.
yeah. I just really hope they get Flashpoint right.
Yeah.
I mean, this is if Flashpoint is done right, it can be a game changer.
I'm already upset at the way that they've done Justice League and all this other stuff. But you're right. If Flashpoint is right, did you watch the anime Flashpoint Paradox? That was my favorite. I was so blown away.
So I would tell you, man, DC anime is fire.
Hands
Like,
down. Why don't they do those stories? Why don't they just do those stories?
DC anime, Marvel can't mess with their anime department.
Not at all.
Their anime movies are on point. Like all of the Suicide. Have you seen the Suicide Squad?
Yeah, those are good. Those are great. Love them.
They're all the same. But like so far, like the Snyder Cut is like the best thing, you know, DC has produced.
Right.
Everyone,
A lot of things made sense, but there's still a lot of things that I was just like, yeah.
well,
But
because when you see the Snyder Cut, you realize how bad the original cut was.
yeah.
Like I was like, oh man, this is so bad. It was like really cringy. Like I hated Batman versus Superman.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, me too. It's just like there's so many decisions that were stupid. Now, with the Snyder Cut, I will say that there were a lot of it's like, oh, that now it doesn't seem as terrible, but there's still some decisions where I'm just like, come on, that I don't know what you're doing there.
Yeah.
But it's nice that they had it, and I'm hoping that they really hook up Flashpoint. But just the Flashpoint anime is, if you haven't seen the Flashpoint anime, it is a must see for the DC
Totally.
universe. But if like there's just certain beats in it that I don't think that they'll be able to replicate because they're kind of rushing the Flashpoint movie out. There's a whole lot that came before it that they're really not playing in there.
I think they're trying to fast track it so that they can keep up with Marvel.
But what they have to understand is you don't have to keep up with Marvel. Just make your stories good.
I'm telling you, and that's all it is to it. You know,
I'm sorry, Marvel dollars don't cut DC off from their dollars. Like they're going to get their money, so just do it right.
I totally agree. Like I really felt like I don't know why they just didn't follow the formula. Like they really rushed Justice League. Like there shouldn't have been a Justice League until all of the core members had their own standalone movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it would have had the same impact as the Avengers did.
Yeah. Or at least like 3 of them have their own kind of standalone movie or whatever. DC, and then the Wonder Woman movie, which everyone raves about it. I only like the first half of the Wonder Woman movie, and then afterwards it went downhill. I'm like, what?
Dude, I'm the same exact way. Like I was good for like the first hour. The last 30 minutes of the movie, I was like, what am I watching?
Yeah.
And I didn't even bother to watch the second one.
The second one it was not great. It was trash as well.
I didn't even bother to watch it.
It continued where the last one left off, where it just wasn't great. And I'm just like, I know y'all want to hype it up, woody woo or whatever, but I'm like, but it wasn't good. There's so many plot holes and silly things in it that just didn't make sense. That kind of they mess up the kind of the continuity and whatnot. So I don't want to hate on it, but I'm like, nah, I didn't really rock with it. But I think this Flashpoint movie would be a good starting point to really right the ship with DC, depending on if Warner Brothers starts letting their directors direct and just kind of just letting them do their own thing. With Marvel, I think it's been stated that they kind of just let the creators create. You know what I'm saying? Like they have the story, they know where it's going, and it's like let the creators create, bring the vision to life. And for the most part, it's worked. You know what I mean? I don't think there's been a Marvel movie that I walked out of it and I was like, I didn't like it. On like further review, thinking about it, I was like, I didn't rock with that. But most of them, when I walk out of it, I'm like, solid, entertained, loved it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But some of them, I was just kind of like, like it really felt like I could have just watched it on Disney Plus.
Yeah. Which one did you see? Shang-Chi?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Or as I like to call it, Black Panther Asia. No, but it was dope for it to be for him to be a more unknown character. Like the story was really put together. The special effects was dope. Like it was.
That was the best fight choreography of any Marvel movie.
I totally agree. I
Ever.
think the only other movie that probably come close might be Winter Soldier.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
might be the only one that might can hang with it.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
that's the other thing what DC needs to do. Like, I feel like some of their fight choreography is pretty dope, but then like just like some of the I don't know what it is. It's just like some of the costumes, some of the set. It just sometimes
I listen.
it's a hodgepodge.
I totally get what you're saying. Like that, I think that was one of the reasons why it took me so long to even watch Aquaman.
Actually, Aquaman, I didn't hate. I was like, I thought, you know why? Because I had very low expectations for Aquaman. Like I thought it was just not going to be. I thought it was just going to be. But I watched it and I was like, actually, I put it up there with Wonder Woman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it. I think I like Jason Momoa, but
Mhm.
let's be honest. There's a reason why his dialogue is very
Yeah.
small.
Listen,
You
Jason Momoa.
would never see him giving a great big speech in any movie.
Yeah, I mean, it all feels the same. It all kind of feels very bro. But Jason Momoa is kind of tight. Have you seen C? It's on Apple Plus.
I heard it's good. I
Oh
haven't,
man,
yet, but
you should watch it. It's great.
I feel like and you know what's crazy about that guy? He's like really funny.
Yeah,
Like I don't know why he hasn't done a comedy yet, but like as far as the action stuff, it's starting to feel like he's getting typecast. You know,
yeah.
yeah.
Maybe just kind of like like the badass, like butcher type killer dude. Yeah. What about Shazam? Did you rock with Shazam?
I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool. Like I didn't know what to really expect from it because I didn't know what type of film it was going to be. And
Mhm.
when I watched it, I was like, "Oh, this is like lighthearted. This is
Yeah.
like, yeah, this is
Well,
like,
they did a weird like they like the tone changed like 3 or 4 times. Like it was like lighthearted, then it was like real dark, and then it was
yeah,
lighthearted again. Actually, Shazam almost had me cry when he like went back to go see his mom or whatever. Like that shit, I was like, I'm about to tear up in a DC movie.
yeah, yeah, yeah." And that's what I'm saying. Like DC has all the capabilities of pulling off their home run. It's just it has to stay consistent. Like all of the movies have like this up and down thing where it changes themes from uh shot to shot, and it's like I need y'all to stay on one tone from
For the
beginning
whole,
to the end.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, Shazam. That was even though the tone changes, but I think because I think they've started to turn it around. Like the last Suicide Squad. I don't know if you saw Suicide Squad.
I thought it
The
was amazing.
that's my favorite DC movie by
Yeah,
far.
much better than the first one.
Yeah.
And
So
I'm glad Will Smith wasn't in it.
really, I feel like Will Smith is going to be in the next one because he needs to get away from Jada. He's going to be like, Harley, you up?
That dude, I think that dude would do Afterlife too.
You think?
Just out.
No, I think, yeah, man. Hey, did you hear about that? Jada talking about like, I don't. Does she name Will when she's like, you can't we don't be humping like we used to or whatever she said. I don't know what she said. I probably shouldn't even be quoting because I didn't know what she said. But
Them rich folks problems I can't relate to.
you don't know anything.
Yeah,
But you grew up with Will. I feel like that's my brother, and I feel like he's going through it.
I like Will, man. I just them folks live a lifestyle I can't even begin to fathom, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the way I look at it is it's like it's the life they live behind the cameras, and then it's the life that they put in front of the cameras for you to, you know,
Consume, yeah.
yeah, like, yeah, this is us for real, but it's like, nah, this is what we really doing, you know. And that's cool though, but it's just like, come on, man. We know what's really going on.
I was like, yo, stop dragging my man Will, man. Like he's Will been through it with Jada.
Hey man, they I think they both kind of been through it, you know. It's
So?
like I got a my homegirl. She calls it organized, not organized, control chaos.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, Jada hasn't been in like movies or anything in a minute, so that might
I
be
think Will.
what it is. She misses the spotlight. You know what I'm saying?
I think Will wanted her to be up in the house, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like, look, I got this, man. I make enough bacon.
Hey, listen.
You know,
Jada said she's
I
tired of
just keep
bacon.
it cooking. Make sure my big piece of pork chop is in the house, and Jaden and nobody else eat it.
Jaden in there eating his big pork chop. Will
Yeah,
is
with his box
distraught.
water, washing it down with his box water. Yeah,
Oh, he's got Willow's hair all up in it,
it's
man.
like,
Yeah.
what is this? Is this a braid? Get this out of
Oh man, this Will is going through it. I feel for the guy though. You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't. I don't.
You know,
I don't. I don't. I don't. You know why I don't feel bad for him? Because there's enough positive things going in that guy's life where he could easily bounce back.
you know what though? Here's what's funny. He started doing all that self-help stuff on like Instagram and making videos and everything. As soon as every time he gets a little bump, Jada's like, "Yeah, but you don't fuck right." Like like every yeah, but your dick little.
Yeah,
It's like
you could jump out of a plane, go bungee jumping, but you ain't hitting this box right.
yeah.
And
Man,
what?
it's like every time Will gets every time he gets a new like million followers, she throws something out there on him. I'm like, damn, she had him crying at the red table. Like, come on, Jada.
Hey man. Oh man, that's a whole nother thing. But you know what it was, man, and this is just my opinion on that. I think they have their understanding of what they do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you do what you do, I do what I do. It is what it is. I think that whole situation, why that dude was so hurt by it, like, it's one thing you freaking somebody else, but it's a whole nother thing when you in love with that person. You get
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
that's a switch up. Yeah.
Like I could look past y'all smashing or whatever. That's just what it is. But like you like really, you really was in this? You was digging this dude like
Yeah,
that?
you love
Because see, this might go into a whole different zone. But like if you love somebody that saying you seeing on the side, that means there's a good possibility that you can leave. You get what I'm saying? And when you freaking off, you're gonna come back home. You get what I'm saying? Like, I just had to get that off, but I'm back here now.
Yeah.
But like when your heart is there, you like 2 days away from packing your bags.
You know what? I think what I think happened. I think she was going to try to leave with that young cat, and then she tried to book a plane ticket, and she didn't have the frequent flyer miles from Will's account. It was like I was wrong. It was an entanglement. I need you to turn back on the credit cards, Will.
Yo, let me tell you something. That chick ain't crazy. That chick ain't crazy. That August could have been like, look, we could leave tonight. And she was like, slow down.
Yeah. Listen.
I'm not leaving. Do you know how much this dude is worth? Are you crazy?
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
that's
dude,
a
I had
lot.
to loan you some money.
Yeah. She's like, just keep stroking it, young boy. I think the problem was that he fell in love, like the young dude fell in love.
All right, so I think it's a couple of things. I think he did fall. He did say he fell in love with her, but I think she turned young and out, man.
That's what I'm saying. She put the listen.
turned
Here's my rule. Here's my rule. You can't, if you out here stepping out, you can't give him the long stroke. You gotta point shave, bro. You can't.
They got a point.
You got a point shave. She gave him everything.
But yo,
and he was like, I'll risk it all, Jada. I love you.
Yo, that dude was stroking like his career was on the line. Like, they told him, like, look, dude, if you don't get this right, you ain't making no more albums. He was like, I could do it.
Wait, how's he made an album since?
Yeah, but it didn't do nothing because of all that.
Yeah. Well, you would think that it would sell a few copies, but I think he just put it all on wax, and everyone was like,
had he did it like Usher, you know what I'm saying? Like, really did it and had like some quality songs. See, the problem was he didn't have a team behind him.
See, that's the
You know what
problem with
I'm saying?
everything. You need a team.
You should have had a whole team ready to go when it comes out,
Mhm.
because it was going to come out sooner or later. People had already, suspected was going on.
Listen, this is why I appreciate Motown, because they had a team, and one dude would come out, and then he would talk to you through
Yo,
the he would talk to you through the intro, and then the other dude come out singing, and then they break
hey,
it down again, and then one hit the
yo,
chorus.
and see, luckily there was no red table talk for Marvin Gaye. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't no red table talk for Smokey.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no social media, so they could do their dirt and go to the next town and be like, "Yep, that happened."
That's wild, right? Like, yeah, man. Now everything's a record. Like everything's right there.
Yeah,
Ain't no escaping it.
yeah, you can't avoid it, man.
Oh man. Uh well, tell the people what you got going on next, man. What's going on in your life, comedy
Oh,
wise, or whatever you want to share.
well, like I was telling you earlier, man, I'm writing a treatment now for basically my life, man. How it's been in the last pretty much 5 years, man. Raising my nephew with my brother. It's like the Louis C.K. version of Two and a Half Men,
I
minus
love it.
minus the masturbation.
I like
Yeah.
it, man. I like it. Hey,
Hosted.
put me in it. I want to be in it. Can I be what part can I get?
You can be the relative dad.
Okay, I'll do that.
We got our kids at the kid parks.
Or I'll just give a little bit of advice.
Yeah,
Well,
you give me the advice.
there you go.
Yeah, man. Outside of that, hosting the nightcap with Broken Mike every Saturday at 11 o'clock. Um, folks are in the DMV area. Definitely come through.
What's the crowd like? Y'all got a pretty good crowd out there
Yeah,
for
the crowd's been real cool. It's been a nice crowd coming through every week, man. Everybody just come in and just have a good time. See, it's that late show,
yeah,
where like people was already out and about and they don't want to quite go home yet. So it's like,
right,
oh, we got a comedy show. And they're like,
right.
yeah, we could chill, you know. But the funny thing about it is though, we got to make sure that it ends on time,
Mhm.
because the thing about late night comedy shows is that usually it's couples that come out. So is that first date night. So
Uh-huh.
everybody is just trying to laugh, haha, drinks. All right, we need to get home so we can smash it up. Okay.
Right.
So we get in, we get out.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Nah, man, I can't wait to get back there and rep with you.
Yes.
Yo,
Yes.
50 Shades of BlackMayonnaise, man. When that was the last special, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Wow. That was 2015, maybe.
And so you do for another one then.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, things go right. I'm actually aiming next year.
Okay.
I can't say exactly when, but definitely want to do another one in 2022, man. Is time, and life has changed so much since that last one, and
Right.
that's the beauty thing about you right now, is that even though you're not out again yet, you're gonna have so much stuff to talk about, dude.
You know what's crazy? I have all these jokes that I was doing before the pandemic, and they were going really well. And I was going to put them into a special. And then the pandemic happened, and then I put out a special that had different jokes on it.
Mhm.
Um, and so now I still have those jokes from before. So I want to do one towards the end of the year that has those old jokes. And then the next one that I do is going to be about this era. You know what I mean? So I feel like I have a little bit of a runway to put one out and then be working on the next one for 2022.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Hopefully the year is ending pretty quickly here. So
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, yo, just keep stockpiling, man.
yeah,
Yeah, keep
yeah.
stockpiling it. And that's the beauty about the time that we're in. It's not a shortage on stuff to talk about.
Hmm. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, you should have a angle on something.
yeah. I mean, it's the best time. I think this might be a lot of people may feel differently, in saying that because of the cancel culture and the ultra PC and all this stuff. Now, this is the best time, dude, because if you have a voice, this is the time to use it.
Well, I mean, I think the thing is like for a minute there, it was the best time to get in because it was super accessible. But now I think it's the best time to get in because there's stakes. You know what I mean? There's a line now. There was a minute where there was just no line. Everybody's just going out saying whatever, and now there's a line. And then there's taboo things like you can't talk about vaccines
Ooh,
or masks or you know what I mean. Like
ooh.
yeah, so I feel like that raises the stakes a little bit where you know what I mean. You gotta I gotta figure out how to
Yo,
say this.
I look at it like this, man. Doing stand-up comedy is one of the most unappreciative mediums, because we have a certain responsibility to not only entertain folks, but we give perspective and
Hmm.
insight in a way that most people don't look at certain things. And that's part of the reason why the whole Chappelle thing is what it is. It's giving perspective. You know, it wasn't like the dude went on stage and was like, you F words and blah blah blah. That ain't what he was saying.
Hmm.
If you listen, um, instead of just taking everything in like, oh, it's an attack. Nah, man, listen to what's going on. And this is I don't think people realize how important this time right here is. I was just on a podcast last night, and I was just saying how what I'm interested in seeing is how things are going to be with Chappelle and the whole LGBTQ community months from now. Like, is there
Hmm.
going to be a moment where there's a sit down, where there's a dialogue? And if there is there any real solutions going to come from it? Or is this going to be more finger pointing?
Hmm. I want to
So,
know who's going to be the ambassadors. Like, who's going to sit down? Is it going to be like Billy Porter and and RuPaul and Wendy Williams?
and Andy Cohen.
There you go. Who's going to be the emissaries? It's going to be fire. It's going to look like an imperial march. You know what I'm
I'll
saying?
tell you. But I love what he said, man. He said, "Listen, um, I will meet y'all on my terms and not y'all's." You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So you won't be able to paint the narrative or control the narrative. you know and that's important, man. There's been a lot of comedians who put their livelihood and their careers on the front lines. You go from Dick Gregory to Lenny Bruce, the list goes on and on. So this is just a new fight, but it's in a lot of ways the same fight of being
Hmm.
able to protect your right of speech.
I just, yeah, I feel like we've gotten to a point where I feel like it's a circular firing squad. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but everyone's in the crosshairs, and you're in your people who aren't your enemy are in your crosshairs. So you've turned a potential ally into an enemy by, your vitriol. Um, which I think is unfortunate because I think there's a lot more in common that we have, a lot more bridge building that we have than tearing it down. Because there are actually people out there who are homophobic, like real live homophobes who are trying to
No,
mess up your life. You know.
no, I listen, dude. You got people with bad intent on both sides.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? What I think and what I hope happens is that just it's easy for people to point fingers and say, "Oh, you're the bad guy. You're this. You're that." Than it is to say, "Yo, let's talk it out. Let's because maybe I can give you a better perspective on what it really is versus what you think." You know what I'm saying? And I'm not defending, what the baby said, because it was like, whoa. But it's like I think they were so quick to jump on dude, before they were like, yo, maybe somebody just need to really educate dude. You know what I'm saying? Like really talk to him from that community and they could shed light on that. You know what I'm saying?
Like, yo, this is why it's hurtful. This is why we're not on board. All that. Yep.
Yeah. So
100%. 100%. Anyway, all right. What's your social media? Where can people follow you?
On IG, BlackMayonnaise 05. That is 2 N's. Comedian Greg Stevens on Facebook, man. I'm not hard to find, man. I still got MySpace. You can hit me up. I'm just kidding, but yeah, you can catch me, on those 2 platforms. Website coming soon. Yeah, man, I'm not hard to find, man.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Well, shit. I hope people find you. I'm gonna close the show out. Yo, thank you so much for joining me. I'm gonna close the show out. Stick around backstage, and I'm gonna holler at you.
My man.
All right. Listen, that was Greg Stevens. Had an amazing time talking to him. We learned a lot. We learned a lot there. We learned that you got to have a backup. You got to have a team to get yourself together. We learned a lot. We learned Will needs to just I don't know what he needs to do. I think that's where he went wrong. Jaden probably ate the big pork chop, and now he's not getting the respect in the house. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna get it right though, Will. We're gonna get you back, man. We're gonna make it happen. But yeah, man, this is another great episode. Tune in. Because I told you we are going to have those product reviews. We're going to talk about different products, and we're gonna say what's been working for us, so you can get down like the blerddad household. So, with that being said, I think I'm going to go ahead and end it there. Blerd that out.